who accidentally caused their parents' divorce? How did you do it? When I was 9, I thought I was saving Christmas. Instead, I destroyed my family in the most spectacular way possible. My parents had been fighting about money constantly that December. Mom kept saying we couldn't afford presents this year. Dad kept insisting we'd figure it out somehow. Every conversation turned into a screaming match about the bills, the mortgage, how we were barely scraping by. I was terrified Santa wouldn't come because my parents were too broke and too angry to make Christmas happen. So I took matters into my own hands like the helpful little genius I thought I was. I'd noticed Dad had this secret credit card that he kept hidden in his toolbox out in the garage. I'd seen him sneak out there late at night sometimes, pull it out, and use it on his phone for stuff. He always looked guilty when he did it, glancing around to make sure Mom wasn't watching. To my 9-year-old brain, this was obviously his special Christmas money card that he was hiding, so Mom wouldn't worry about spending. Perfect solution, right? I'd just borrow it real quick and buy them each something nice. Then they'd stop fighting, Christmas would be saved, and I'd be the hero of the family. I waited until they were both distracted one evening. Mom was cooking, Dad was watching TV, and I snuck out to the garage. Found the card exactly where I'd seen him put it, tucked behind some old paint cans. I memorized all the numbers and snuck back inside. Later that night, I crept downstairs to the computer and got to work. I found these really nice matching watches on some website. Nothing too fancy, just like $50 each. I figured that was reasonable for Christmas presents. I was so careful entering all the information, double-checking everything. I even paid for express shipping because I wanted them to arrive in time to wrap. I was incredibly proud of myself. I'd solved our family's Christmas crisis like some kind of pint-sized financial wizard. 2 weeks later, Dad's having his usual morning coffee when the mail arrives. He opens what looks like a credit card statement, and I watch his face go from sleepy to confused to absolutely furious in about 3 seconds flat. He storms into the kitchen, waving this paper around like it's on fire. Christine, what the hell is this? You use the emergency card for jewelry? Are you kidding me right now? Mom stops stirring her oatmeal and looks at the statement. Her face immediately turns red. I didn't buy anything, Robert. This is your card. How would I even know about it? Don't lie to me. Look at this. Matching watches, $50 each. This is exactly the kind of stupid spending that's going to put us in the poorhouse. They're screaming at each other now, really going at it. Mom's throwing kitchen utensils around. Dad's pacing back and forth like a caged animal. I'm sitting at the breakfast table watching this nuclear meltdown unfold, and that's when I decide to proudly announce my brilliant solution. I bought those for Christmas. Surprise! The screaming stops instantly. Dead silence. You could hear a pin drop. Dad slowly turns to look at me, his face completely drained of color. You what? I bought the watches. One for you and one for Mommy, so you'd stop fighting about Christmas presents. Mom sits down hard in her chair like someone just punched her. Honey, where did you get Daddy's credit card? From his toolbox in the garage, where he always hides it from you when he uses it at night. That's when everything went completely sideways. Turns out that wasn't just any credit card. It was Dad's secret gambling debt card that Mom had absolutely no idea existed. My innocent little Christmas surprise had just exposed $30,000 in hidden debt from online poker sites, sports betting, and casino apps. All those late-night garage sessions weren't him buying Christmas presents. He was feeding a gambling addiction that had been bleeding our family dry for 2 years. The matching watches were just the tip of the iceberg that sank the Titanic. Mom found out that half their marriage had been built on lies. Dad had been stealing money from their joint accounts, hiding statements, making minimum payments on massive debt while telling her they were just struggling with normal bills. The emergency card was actually a cash advance card he'd been using to cover his gambling losses. They were divorced by Valentine's Day. Dad moved in with his brother. Mom kept a house but had to get a second job to pay off the debt. And I learned that sometimes trying to save Christmas can end up destroying everything else instead. The watches never even got wrapped.